Worthing FC TV with Chris Agutter, looking ahead to this Saturday's game against Chesham United in the National League South. Aggie, before we get into Saturday, just want to touch on Tuesday night's victory against Bath City.
Yeah, potentially got the sort of the feeling around the game perhaps got blurred by the last sort of 10-15 minutes, where it was a really close affair and Bath were pushing for an equaliser. Probably done ourselves a bit of a disservice on initial reflections, but watching the game back and chances we've created and some of the football, especially in the first half, it was there's plenty to like. We were a final ball or a decent finish or better finish away from increasing our sort of winning margin significantly. Bath are very good. I think if Darren has that group from day one, I think they're a lot closer to us in terms of playoffs in the top end of the division, as opposed to where they're at. So we've caught them on a good night for them. I think they're in a really good place. Obviously took points off Eastbourne Borough, but equally we've created enough chances to win the game a lot more comfortably than we did in the end. But credit to the players, where Bath did have a spell. We managed to dig in and push back and end up getting a really important winning goal to add 3 more really important points to the board.
Just touching on those winning margins, I've lost count of the number of games we've won 2-1, and I know it's not doing much for your stress levels, but it does show a sign of a resilient team, right? And I guess as much as you'd want to win games by 2, 3, 4 goals, it's pleasing to see that the team are constantly fighting till the end. Yeah,
well, we're hoping that those bigger winning margins are coming, so that's what we're sort of trying to tell ourselves. But I think it says a lot about the group. It says an awful lot about the character, the mentality, the fact that we've scored over the quarter of goals we've scored this season have come in the last 15 minutes of games. That says a lot about the group's attitude, about their physical condition, the odd good substitution. I think we're certainly not going to turn our nose up at winning games, but we'd much rather win more comfortably than what we are. But again, I think it's a final ball or a better decision or a better finish away from being a lot more convincing. But then equally, I think the division's incredibly competitive. When I initially took the job, I watched pretty much every Worthing game from last season, and I've obviously canvassed for opinion amongst staff, board members, players, and the general feeling is that the league is incredibly competitive this year, and it's probably gone up a notch or two. So I think the fact that the score lines are as tight as what they are is a reflection of a very competitive league table, which, as you can see by the league table itself, like how tight it is from top to bottom, really. So we just got to keep working hard and keep trying to improve, and hopefully, as I said, we won't win. Well, as I said, I'm not going to turn our nose up at a 2-1 win, but I wouldn't mind a 2-0. So yeah.
Looking ahead, Chesham, your opponents on Saturday, obviously beat you in the reverse fixtures, and you touched on Tuesday about how tough customers they're going to be. What are your thoughts on them as a team?
They're dangerous. They're very dangerous. They've got some really good individual players. Boy Minyas up top's a good player, especially. They've got a lot of quality, and I'm really keen to make that abundantly clear. Like I said, they play in a different way to us, but that's not any sort of disrespect at all. I mean, the game down at their place, they've done a job on us. As I said after the game, I wouldn't have paid too much money to watch it, but that was just as much, if not more, down to our level of performance and how poor we were on the day, and also credit to Chesham because they made us look incredibly poor. So there's an awful lot of motivation from that first game because we didn't do ourselves justice on the day. Chesham done a very good job on us and comfortably beat us. So with that in mind, we will, as I said, go into the game with a huge amount of motivation to try and put up a better showing against a decent side. But equally, the biggest motivator is the fact that we can potentially go back top with games in hand still, which is the biggest motivation of all.
I know you haven't had much time to regroup from Tuesday night's win. Just a few words on the squad and the overall condition, as much as you can at this stage.
Yeah, I think Nicky Wheeler would be the only question mark, not injury wise, but purely just because of the fact he's nearly 40. And you know, he's the way that he plays and how important he is to us. It means that, you know, we need to make sure he's right, and we need to look after him at training. Tommy Willard looks like he's picked up a bit of a knock, unfortunately. So again, we need to be cautious with Tommy. And other than that, Parts was ill, which is why he didn't start against Chelmsford, and he wasn't completely over it on Tuesday night, but hopefully he's at the back end of that, which means he's back in contention to start. But yeah, no, all in all, it's more precautions rather than any players ruled out for any injuries. So yeah, no, all good. We're looking like we've got a very competitive squad and lots of selection dilemmas. So yeah, I look forward to dealing with that over the next couple of days.
Just finally, it feels like a fitting time to ask you about the youth teams, both of the under 18s top of their division and the 19s. Obviously, we've just watched them beat Dartford this afternoon. Yeah. Seems a fantastic group of young lads coming through the academy setup.
Yeah. I mean, the work that's going on in the academy, from the 14s, Christian and co, through to the 18s with Nath, Stu, Dell. They're doing a brilliant job, and you know, it's from a first team perspective. Ultimately, you want to get to the end of the season, and as you're planning for next season, with a crop of players from the academy that you can potentially look to bring into the first team squad. Again, I think the dream would be 16 players that live 15 minutes from Woodside Road that have all come through the academy. And obviously that is the dream, and you know, the first thought will be what's in the building. So likes of Arthur, Cooper, Danny Jordan, Dylan Walter, Erie. There's a few really good players in there, which means that come probably more likely next season now, hopefully it means that we can promote a number of those into the first team squad. It means we don't need to recruit from away, and it'll help move the first team forwards. And ultimately, as much as the youth team are doing incredibly well and the academy is doing well in terms of winning games and top of leagues and all the rest of it, the priority is to make sure that we do have players to pick from that we can promote into the first team, and equally from my perspective, I need to make sure there's a pathway available for them. So exciting, and obviously if we can win a load of games and win leagues on top of it at academy and youth team level, then even better. So yeah, the guys are doing a great job, and yeah, it's exciting, and that's one of the things we look forward to in the summer actually, because there's obviously always a change and transition over the summer period, and one of the most exciting parts of that is looking at the academy and going, who can we potentially promote into the first team squad.
Thanks, Henry.
Cheers, Jack.